So are you still hearing me?
David says hello here for some reason. Don't have any audio.
Right,
We're
right.
working on it.
We're working on it.
I can't hear you.
Working on it.
I have sound in the headphones.
Right, but we're not getting it to go. For some reason, we're not getting it to go out. All right. All right, we're back to just uh, a very basic mic setup. So
Does that fiddle with anything in OBS? That
no, it
box?
shouldn't.
Okay.
This is just our input into the OBS system,
Oh, okay.
which
Okay.
we're going to probably go to StreamYard. Announcement. Oh, Kate, the
We have sound.
There we go. Now we got sound again. I'm going to have to look a little bit more into the settings. We should be able to use this box a couple different ways. But anyway, welcome. Thank you. And our engineer producer left us. So Mama Rochi has taken the controls.
Yes.
And he left us with no information. So, this is her first time, and it's going to be pretty basic tonight, but thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it now that you can hear us.
We got to work out the kinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it'll take a week, and I think we may be switching to
Yeah.
a different app.
But it's very kinky over here right now.
Isn't it always?
Kinky is fitting.
So, anyway, we're going to talk about the election.
Yes, we are.
You know, we talk about balance and good vibes and positive energy um, in our life. And, balancing out those negatives with the positives and all. And, I wasn't kidding when I said, Halloween, you said Halloween's over. And I said, yeah, but the clowns are still out.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready for another election. As you both, if you're not aware, I am a libertarian. I don't really care for the right or the left. I think there's a lot more that binds us together and that we care about overall than hair on fire issues that the right and left are going after. And I'm also
Right.
running for the Indiana House of Representatives in District 42. My thing was, don't send me your money. I don't want it. Uh, just want you to help me get my message out and your vote. But, with inflation and all, you don't need to be sending me money for a campaign. But with that said, we can't really compete a whole lot or with signs and other things. But we're on the ballot, and that's what counts.
We can make stickers.
But we've put ourselves in this situation, and the politicians haven't helped. In fact, they've made things worse. And they come around every 4, every 6, every 2 years, ask for your money, ask for your vote, and then disappear. They really could care less about what you want, and they're supposed to be representing you. We've started building dynasties.
Yeah.
And nobody it used to be an inconvenient service where you left your business, your job, and you served. And then you went back and you lived under those laws that you passed. It was never designed for people to be, spend 50 years in the Congress or the Senate.
Right.
And it's crazy, but we're in all of these predicaments because they have spent 50 years or 40 years or 30 years or 20 years. We need to talk seriously about term limits
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
get these people. This was not to be made a job for life. It was made to serve and come back to your community. And I don't even think half of them could, relate to the communities that they're supposed to represent.
No, definitely not. They live in a whole different world because part of the problem with a lot of politics nowadays is a lot of the politicians, especially with media and everything, they're more like celebrities
Oh
than
yeah,
people.
they want their sound bites, and it's both sides. Both sides are corrupt. It's all about greed and power, personal greed, personal power, and we're the ones that are giving it to them. I mean, how many of them go into office and then come back out quite wealthier than they started?
Oh, all of them.
Yeah, I mean, they take this special interest money. They're it's getting corrupt. So I'm
What, Ma?
oh, but we need to look into this. And I'm asking, should you vote on mushrooms? Should you eat mushrooms before you go vote? Because bars are closed until the polls close, and because they didn't want people drinking ahead of voting. So that's been established for a long time. But obviously, a lot of people are eating mushrooms before they vote.
With the people we have in
And
office?
with the people we have in office. So maybe if you don't eat mushrooms, we might get a better group of people.
You must be sober and clear-headed when you go to vote. You got to think about what you want and then go.
So I wonder if when I hit the clap thing, if that isn't what messed their sound up.
No, it didn't. It was a different. It was a different setting that I set it to.
Oh,
So I'll work it out. That way we could use the equalizer on that to work out the voicing.
We got to do some fiddling.
Right.
well, you guys sound
Okay. Well then.
I
we're
know I
fine.
do.
Only when you're silent.
good. Oh.
So I don't think people have been doing mushrooms before they went to go vote. I think they've been doing some kind of harder drug.
Right.
Something
Well, I
some kind of harder drug.
the, the unfortunate thing is we've become so polarized that even if one side has a good idea, the other side rejects it out of hand just because. It was
Right.
it, and
Right.
we've got to start moving back into the middle and not let the lunatics on the left, the far left, and the lunatics on the far right dictate. And I think we're starting to move back to a center. I hope, because I mean, it is going to be a terrible winter if we don't figure something out fairly soon. They're already telling truckers to, there may be a serious diesel shortage. And if you think we've got supply chain problems now, give this about 2 or 3 months and see how buried we are.
I heard there's a gas shortage now. That's why gas costs so much. That's the word on the
Yeah,
street.
well, yeah, because I mean, just a few years ago, we were energy independent. We didn't need to import anything from anybody.
Right.
And that was, I mean, wonderful. And we worked as a nation for so long to get to that point. And then, they want us to move to green energy. So the way to try to make this happen faster is just quit producing petroleum and push people, to either get an electric vehicle or pay $10 a gallon for gas or $15 a gallon for gas.
Now, me and Luke were actually discussing this today, discussing
David
electric
Hudgens
vehicles.
says no diesel will wreck us quick. It says get your rice and beans.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying is they've got to figure something out and they've got to start figuring it out quick because what they're projecting is, I mean, I don't know. This could make the Great Depression uh, look like joyous times.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of feels like we're going into another recession, is what it feels like to me.
Well, if this happens and our supply chain gets screwed up, it doesn't matter how much money you're making. There's just nothing. It's going to be
Yeah.
available.
But yeah, me and Luke were talking about electric vehicles because I said, well, I think when we get rich, I'm just gonna buy a Tesla. And we were discussing it, and he doesn't think it's a good idea because
I don't know. I kind of dig those new Tesla trucks.
They're
I
ugly.
I
I kind of like them. I mean,
I like the idea of a Tesla, but Luke brought up a very good point. With the luck that me and him have with vehicles, we wouldn't be able to work on our own Tesla.
well, oh no,
We'd
no,
have to take it in
yeah.
somewhere every time.
I saw a video
Well,
today.
the thing, the questions I have about the electric vehicles
Mhm.
are number one, how are we going to dispose of the batteries once these things die? Because we're going to have hundreds of thousands of these batteries that we're going to have to deal with.
And they're lithium batteries.
Yeah,
They are.
are they recyclable? Do we have a way to reclaim this?
I've seen what happens when a Tesla gets in an accident and the battery explodes,
Yes.
and it's not good.
So, that's something that, if you want to go to green energy, we better have a way to dispose of
Or
these properly.
repurpose.
Yeah, reclaim, repurpose, but we need to know what we're going to do with all these batteries.
Right. Well, and not to mention, you know, when people do get in car accidents with Teslas and the batteries explode, what kind of damaging effects is that having on our environment? Like, yes, you want green energy, but like accidents happen every day. And if we've got all electric vehicles and all this chemical waste being pumped into our
Fire
environment,
departments can't use water on electrical
Right.
fires.
So, uh, yeah, I'm sorry. she's chiming in and breaking my conversation in our
And distracting you.
yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, that's one of the things. When I was going to some of the anti-nuke rallies way back when, mostly to partake in this and listen to some good music. Um, Part of my problem was not the nuclear power itself, is how we were planning on disposing of waste that has a half-life of, you know, what, 50,000 years or longer. That, we needed a honest plan, and, just burying it out in the desert, I don't
Yeah.
isn't, a great plan, and that's what they're still doing with it. But we do have to have a plan for these batteries when they do die.
Oh yeah. And I think right now it really isn't one. There's not like a Tesla battery repurposing factory.
But there are some hemp batteries that are coming on, or are being developed, that could power some of these cars. Again, hemp. Huh, who would have thunk it?
Hemp.
Can save the world,
It could.
and it will.
But we want to use lithium.
No, no more lithium.
Tired of it.
No
Period.
more lithium.
And Mom said they can't be put out with water. Electric car fires can't be put out with
Yeah,
water.
the fire department would use foam.
Foam.
Yeah, that's what they would use.
What if there was a foam shortage?
What if?
What if there was a foam shortage? I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie, in my lifetime, I never thought there would be a gas shortage, because when we discussed it in school, they talked about how, yes, in your lifetime, there is gonna be enough gas to get you through your lifetime, but then, like, your grandchildren are gonna be the ones that have to worry about the gas problem. It was never something that was discussed when I was in high school.
No, and that's true. And by the time your grandchildren, we will have, uh, you know, transitioned to a different energy source, maybe two by that time.
Right.
David Hudgens
So,
says no rave party because the foam got used up on your car fire.
right, right. So, statements like that bring me to another thought.
A thought.
College admissions. What are the actual standards? You got admitted.
I got admitted to a community college. Well, I mean, if I wanted to, I could go to ISU, but I don't want to because it costs more, and I don't know if I'd be able to afford it.
Yeah.
But I have been accepted to ISU, as well as Ivy Tech. But like I said, I don't know how much it would cost me to go to ISU, but I know Ivy Tech is kind of like the go-to for the most cost-effective.
I got a question as far as tuition. Why don't the colleges charge less?
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
why do we need, why are we taking out government loans and, looking to the government to help with tuitions? These colleges are not hurting, and universities are not hurting for
Oh,
money.
no.
And, maybe it's time for them to think about, lowering tuition.
You know what me and Luke were talking about, because he works at Rose Holman. Do you know how much tuition is to go to Rose Holman for one school year?
I think 40,000.
$53,000 for 1 year. So if you go there for 4 years, you're $200,000 in debt.
And that's not and that's not counting on the interest that's being charged on those loans.
Right.
So that's probably closer to 450,000.
Right. And like, I'm not saying that the kids that graduate Rose Holman aren't going to have good jobs, like, because they are, because it's that kind of school. However, that's a ridiculous amount.
Oh, it is.
Because, like, tuition doesn't cover books or housing or anything like that.
Rob
No, it
Dean
does
says,
not.
what's up, friends?
Who?
Rob Dean.
Hey, Rob.
Dino.
Dino.
We're talking about stuff and things.
and things and stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, so ridiculous amounts these people are charging for college. Ridiculous.
It is. And like I said, it seems like we're voting on mushrooms, and we're doing the same stuff with higher education. If we held the universities and colleges, to a respectable standard, and saying, kids just can't afford to go to these institutions, or they go and what they've majored in, you know, is not paying them enough to pay back that maybe they don't get a job in their field and have to take other work.
Right.
So, a lot of this is, it, we just need to rethink a lot of different things.
Right. Right.
And I think it's time that people are willing to start doing that.
I agree. I agree. I don't think my tuition's that much though at Ivy Tech. I think it's literally a fraction.
Right.
A fraction of what it costs to go to Rose-Hulman.
Well, there's reasons. Tomorrow, you can catch myself and the talent, so she calls herself, on another program
What?
on Grow Fam.
Grow Fam.
Grow Fam. It is a private group, so if you're not a member of the group, you're not going to get to see us. But we will be on Grow Fam tomorrow at 5 o'clock Central Time. So that is 6 o'clock our time.
You figured that all out by yourself.
I'm glad he did because, like,
yeah, well, Caitlin's still confused about it. So, but
Does-
catch us there.
Speaking-
Daylight savings time on
speaking
Sunday.
of times, yeah,
Oh, yeah, God, we got to fall back.
does everywhere? We get an extra hour of sleep though.
Yeah.
That's this go round. This go
Julie
round.
says, "Bro, fam?" Question.
Grow Fam, it's a group on Facebook. Ash and I'm sorry, his wife's name escapes me at this moment. But yeah, they've got some stuff going on, and good people. Good people. We're excited to be on there. We're going to be on live tomorrow. So yeah, check them out on Facebook. Grow Fam.
Is the United States the only country that uses daylight savings time?
Yeah, I think so.
So what about the?
And 81% of Americans hate it.
I don't hate it. It's just inconvenient. Because the reason I don't hate it is because it's good for the farmers.
What
Is what
doesn't make any sense to me is why Indiana is on the same time as New York and not Chicago. That's what I don't understand.
it's only the majority of Indiana. And that is because of the lines.
Hmm.
You know about the lines?
Only on mirrors.
I don't know what they're
Well,
called.
never mind. That was ages ago.
Rob Dean said he did No Shave November in 2020 and has been growing it ever since.
Right on. That brings us to something else. No Shave November.
I already got a head start.
Well, yes, you do. And you're going for it. But we got a contest going on. And you want to tell them about the contest?
So, our contest, y'all. Post your beards. Post your beards and tag Master Rochi in your beard photos. And I can't remember what you win, but
I was going to say, they don't care about that. They want to know what they're going to win.
well, they got to know what they got to do to win.
Well, let's motivate them to do what they got to do to win.
What's the prize?
I'm glad you asked. A year's worth of Master Rochi's beard oil. That's 6 bottles that we will be giving away. And long beards, short beards, unique beards, weird beards. We don't care. We just love beards. And what you need to do is tell them again.
You need to post a picture of your beard on Facebook and tag Master Rochi in the picture.
And then our bearded panel of judges will judge for the most bodacious, best beard out there. And that lucky person will get a year's worth of Master Ochi's beard oil.
Da, da, da,
So
da!
let's see them. Send us the pics. We will be talking about this more, and maybe sharing some of the
Beards.
entrants or the
The applicants.
yes
Entries.
Enterees.
Rob Dean says, I want the Nag Tampa beard oil. I'm
Right
in.
on. That is that brother. That's my favorite. That was the original scent. I dig it, and I use it actually a couple times a day. In fact, I didn't use it before the show. I did earlier.
I think I'm gonna wear tank tops for the rest of No Shave November.
Nobody needs to see that.
So like, I'll just sit like this.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody remembers Patti Smith from the 70s. Yeah, it's worse than that.
Rob says, where do we have to post this?
You just post. Okay, so here's the thing. We were trying to figure out how to do this earlier, and like this seemed like the most simplistic way to do it because this man's inbox is flooded 100%, 110% of the time. So like if you send it to him, it's gonna get lost. So just post it to your timeline, but make sure you tag Master Rochi in the picture. Tag Master Rochi, Master Rochi's Garden. Make sure you tag either one. Make sure you tag both.
You don't have one or the other.
Yeah, and
One or the other.
this way we can go back through tag photos
Yep.
and have everything that we need.
Yes. So just post it to your timeline and make sure you tag Master Rochi.
And we will be also taking a picture when we can get all the judges together of your judging panel.
They're excluding me from being a judge.
We're not excluding you. We just feel that the judges, I don't care, you can be a judge too.
I got beards.
So it'll be yes. It'll be 3 people and Caitlin, or see, 4 of us and Caitlin judging.
Rob Dean says,
So-
awesome.
So yep, it's and we have beards. We'll get a picture. Thank you, my friend.
What?
So what's going on in Caitlin's world, or do I want to know
Oh, so I've been watching a lot of TED Talks lately.
about a lot of what?
You know what TED Talks are?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'll explain for the people that don't know what TED Talks are. So TED Talks are informational, inspirational, little
Oh, I thought you said TikToks.
TED Talks.
No, I have no idea what the hell those are.
Okay, well, I'm going to explain it.
I mean, I should because I'm
A digital creator?
Yes.
Any hoozle. So TED Talks are inspirational, educational, little. They're about 5 to 10 minute long videos. Okay, some of them are inspirational, some of them are educational. They're uplifting, in my opinion. Right. So-
If you say so.
So I was gonna talk about a TED Talk that I watched while I was cooking supper the other night.
Well, please do.
Okay, so the whole premise of this TED Talk that I watched was why is everybody so depressed, essentially. Everybody, not just America, the whole world, because America isn't the only country that uses antidepressants because, antidepressants haven't been around forever. Everybody goes through hard times. Like, I'm thinking back to medieval times. There were no antidepressants back then.
No, there was more natural remedies.
Yes. So, what has caused in the past couple of centuries the need for antidepressants?
Oh, let's see. Radio, TV, electricity, the automobile. And we can just everything that it sprang from that.
You're partially correct. So, think back to primitive times.
Sugar.
Primitive times.
No, sugar is what's
I think it
wrong.
all went wrong with the discovery of fire.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
Oh my gosh. I say think back to primitive times. How did people live in the primitive times?
Well,
Did
what are you
people-
what are you talking
Rob
about?
Dean says doctors make people think they need medicine for everything.
We're making ourselves sick. We're a medication nation, and
It's not
the-
just America though, it's everywhere.
it is. And
Well-
we've forgotten so much of the lessons of the past. Because it's all been advertising and media bullshit.
You know what people need to thrive? Other people. Back in primitive times, people relied on their tribe when they needed something, when they needed anything, emotionally, physically, anything. They relied on their tribe. So you were partially correct in your answer of all that stuffs and things.
Mhm.
There's a bunch of different things that has disconnected us from our tribes essentially.
Right. Oh, definitely. And that was some of the stuff I was mentioning.
Yes. So
Because we're no longer a community. We have neighbors that we don't know or don't spend time with. We have family that used to be, families live closer together.
mhm.
Not anymore. People are spread out all over the country. And instead of replacing, family with friends, we've replaced it with electronics. We've replaced it with, VR. We replaced it with TV.
Yes.
So many people just use TV to keep them company instead of seeking out company of another human.
Yes.
Rob says I have back problems and the doctors gave me too much pain medicine. I became a drug addict. I have 4 years clean and sober from opioids now. Cannabis
Right on.
saved my life.
Right on. And that's great, brother. That is great. I am glad to hear that.
Well, and that's also part of what this guy went into. Part of this disconnection from our tribes has caused addictions because people are looking for something. Now, you might not necessarily start out with having a void, but people are looking for something to fill that void. There was a lab study done. The original lab study put a few rats in a couple of different containers. Now, in the containers, they had.
You dirty rat.
Shush! I'm trying to talk!
You dirty rat.
No, in the containers, they had water laced with heroin
Oh.
and just regular water. Now, when the rats were alone in this container, every time they chose the heroin water. Now, years later, another scientist came in and did the same study. However, he put a bunch of rats together, gave them all kinds of things to play with, gave them as much food as they could ever possibly eat, gave them all kinds of friends, and did the same thing. Water and heroin water. The rats never drank the heroin water because all their needs were met. All their physical needs, all their social needs.
Yeah, I agree 100%. 100%. And
Rob
I
says he likes to microdose mushrooms and it's helped him quite a bit.
Me too.
helps me too. And upon occasion, I like to macrodose.
Same.
So, but yes, the microdosing is also very helpful. I would really like eventually to start a retreat where people could come and spend a week or so. No electronic devices allowed. You'll have 15, 20 minutes in the evening or something to call family or whatever. But other than that, or send texts, whatever you want to do. But other than that, no more devices. so people can learn how to relate again, uh, one on one.
Right.
Because what you know, we've got to take back the civility.
We
Uh,
got to get back to our tribes.
well, yeah, I would use the word tribe very carefully, but we need to get back to being a community
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and inner having those interpersonal human relations with no filters in between.
Right.
And I think that's extremely, extremely important. And the other thing, I cannot believe more people are not upset about all of this fentanyl. Do they not understand? I mean, my God, if it was a car company that had a vehicle out that, caused the death of 20 people, it would be, people would be demanding that that vehicle be taken off the road.
Right.
Or if there was, a serious illness because of a product that was being sold and everybody was buying, it would be pulled from the shelves immediately. But this fentanyl, it's like they want to talk about it, but they don't want to do anything. I mean, I, I'm flabbergasted. I cannot believe it. And this stuff is killing people, killing a lot of
Mhm.
people.
Right.
And, and it's not the people that are looking to get, high on fentanyl. They're thinking it's other stuff, and now it's coming in, in different colors. I don't know. It's but they sure in the hell are worried about rescheduling cannabis.
Well, you know about Portugal, right?
I don't know.
You don't know about Portugal?
Well, tell me. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
So in Portugal, they were having a lot of drug related deaths. Their prisons were full with drug addicts. And do you know what their solution was?
Let them go.
They took all the funding that they were putting into these prisons, released all the people with drug related crimes, decriminalized all drugs, and put that money towards getting these people jobs.
That'd go a long way, but that makes way too much sense. Uh, you know,
Their
drug addiction is not a crime. It causes crime. You know, I know people don't like the idea of legalizing all the drugs, but if you legalize them and you do it, properly and set up places where these people can go to use those,
Mhm.
and they are going to be safe, and they know what they're getting. And there's, medical professionals, mental health professionals, and we start working at the root causes of, the poverty, the lack of jobs, the lack of schooling, the PTSD from veterans that are on the street. And we start getting people help and get them away from the drugs.
Well, after they did that, uh the death rate from overdoses in Portugal, do you know what the percentage was?
What?
That it fell 50%. 50% it
Right.
fell.
Well, for the freest country or on the face of the planet, we have the most people locked away. And that does not, you know, my opinion is the prisons are for people that cannot live in society.
Yeah.
They're not there to, yes, you need to be punished if you know, are thieving stuff. You need to be punished if you're drinking and driving. But jail and prison is not suitable. That's
No.
that's for the worst of the population. That's the people that cannot live in a normal society.
Jail and prison aren't rehab centers.
No, they're not, and it runs lives. I mean, put them on house arrest, let them work, let them pay, and monitor everything.
Mhm.
That's going to be hell enough, but you put them in prison. Now you have a child without a mother or father.
Right.
Uh, you've maybe when the in prison person was working and was part of the family, they had a standard of living here. Now their standard of living has dropped. Even when they get out, they're not going to be, they're going to have difficulty finding jobs. Um,
Yeah, but well, especially if they have a felony. A lot of places won't hire felons, even if it's a non-violent felony.
no, and yeah, and we've got to, instead of just uh, saying, we need to talk to the person because th- they've done their time. They have served their sentence. They should not have additional penalties put upon them upon release.
Right. Now, I agree with what you're saying. However, I think people such as like the drug dealers that are selling the fentanyl, the
Mhm.
big drug bosses, all those people that are in prison, they need to stay for a little while because they're the ones,
Oh yeah.
they're knowingly selling a product that is tainted.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, those, like I said, there's people that need to be in prison. But the majority of people that we have locked up, yes, they've done some terrible stuff, but also, let's look at, again, we need to address mental health. That is
Yes.
such a important issue.
Need to get to the root cause
Yes.
of the problem
Eh,
because well these people are going to jail or prison, they're getting out of jail or prison, and the majority of the time they still have an addiction.
right.
They go right back to what they were doing before they went to jail or prison, and like you said, sometimes even more so if they've lost their family
Well, that was
over.
my number one issue, as far as my what what is my campaign ahead of legalizing cannabis is mental health.
Right.
I think that is the greatest thing that our nation and Indiana faces. And we've got to get down at the community level and work with the smaller communities, the larger communities, uh, and get this mental health help out there that is desperately needed.
I agree. I agree. Well, would you like to say goodnight?
Always.
Good night, my friends.
You have friends?
Yes, I do. Probably more than
All
you.
right. Well, I will believe that. Maybe, maybe not. But don't forget, send us pics of your beard, and as always, peace, love, and good vibes. Good night, all.
You need help.
You need help?